Welcome to part 2 of decluttering. All right, let's just get to it. I don't feel the need to describe what I'm doing. You know. If you know, you know. You know? I just got rid of so many lip things and I just felt like I needed to keep going. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Actually, let's start with another hellacious product from ColourPop. Oh my god. I hate these. I hated these. And I don't know why I still have them. 0% of me knows. And they're the cream gel eyeliners. They're just complete ass. I never liked them. What is this one? Mr. Bang? It did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. This one didn't even show up. What was this one? Honey Dude. Okay. And this one is Get Paid. Oh, it just fell out onto my bed. Ew. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I cannot be bothered with ColourPop. This next brand, I don't really hear talked about on YouTube all that much. And I can't remember how I discovered them or how I obtained this information. I think it was just like a makeup article that popped up on my like Google like related search things where they're like, if you read this, you might. Anyways, so yeah, it was an article about the blush that Adele wore to the Grammys one year. And I thought her makeup looked beautiful and I was like, I want that. So this is the brand EX1. EX1 was also known for making a line of foundations that catered towards olive skin tones. And I have tried it and I found that the lightest shade was still a shade too dark for me. Like the undertone was amazing and in the summertime I really, really liked it, but I didn't really think about it so much because I spent so much time like I couldn't wear it because it was just too dark for me for my wintertime shade. But I feel like they've come out with lighter shades. It's something I might look into someday. But their blush, their EX1 blush in Pretty in Peach is what Adele wore to the Grammys. And so I bought it because of that reason. This is a really nice blush. And it's super pigmented. Let me put it on my, that's it right there. That's lipstick. Do not pay any mind to that. Let me just make the swatch bigger. It's beautifully formulated. And it doesn't have like a sheen to it, but it blends out really nice. The texture is very lovely. The color is very lovely. I liked using this on brides a lot, actually. But I feel I don't reach for it for myself personally. So I feel like I might gift this to my sister. This next one is kind of hard to decide. I have 3 of them and it's the Milani Baked Blushes. So I have the OG Luminoso. So I sort of remember like this thing happening with Luminoso where I don't know if it was formulated different or if the color was different. I think I remember the color being different because I had 2 of them for some reason. Maybe by accident, I don't know. But this is the old one. So this is significantly more peach, more nuanced. And the other one had kind of an orange tint to it. Or maybe it was like way more pink or something. But everyone was in an uproar. And I think I remember giving that one away or I threw it out or something because I was really irritated. Because I remember why. I wanted one for my kit and I wanted one for personal use. And then I found the one that I used for my kit. The shade was so different and I got so pissed and I just threw it out. That's what it was. I couldn't remember. But anyways, this is the OG you can see how much I've used it. I love this so much. Like, it's such a beautiful shade. I'm having a hard time like wanting to part with it. And then the all-time favorite shade for me is Berry Amore. And I think that this is more of like a warm taupe. Kind of, if anything. It has a lot more brown in it, and this is what got me into using more of like earthy brown nude tones in my blushes more so than like a peach, which is what I had always gravitated towards, and I never really liked blush, but I just realized that I was just using the wrong shade for my skin tone. So I'm keeping Berry Amore, and I'm gonna keep the OG Luminoso just for like crazy person sentimental reasons. Bella Bellini. This one is not for me. This is so like bright pink, and I don't even, see, just from it, let me just flip you guys off here for a second. Just from it swiping my hand on accident right there, you can just see how pink it is and how shiny it is. This color is not for me. It's way too metallic, for one. The shift, like the reflect in it is so golden. Like, it's just really not my jam. I never pick it up. And even when I was using powder products a lot, I hardly touched this because I thought that it made me look like a crazy metallic nightmare. That's goodbye. This next one's kind of controversial. And it's NARS Orgasm. Oh, she's broke. Oh my God. NARS Orgasm. Yeah, another peachy pink. This is another peachy. Let's just get the, okay. This is another peachy pink that I just had a hard time connecting with, and the shift in it is so glittery, so gold. Like, you can see it in the camera there. Yeah, let me look in the viewfinder. Yeah, it's just, it was not for me. I did not ever enjoy this. And everyone loved it for so long, and I'll never understand why. Bella Bellini by Milani actually is a lot lovelier because it's more finely milled. This is not finely milled. Ugh, this is one of the few products from NARS that I just could not get on board with, ever. Like, I've never understood the hype with this. But if this kind of color is your thing, I would say Bella Bellini by Milani is the better option because it's more finely milled than your girl here, Orgasm. Never understood Orgasm. She's leaving. We're now going to venture into the wonderful world of eye palettes. I'm going to start with this one from Urban Decay. This is the Basquiat collection that came out years ago. I impulsively bought so many things in the collection because I thought it was such a really wonderful idea for a collaboration. And it sucked, man. It really, really sucked. I never wanted to touch another Urban Decay shadow again until I discovered Space Cowboy, but that's a whole other thing. These are dusty, chalky. I don't even want to gift this to anyone. I hate this formula so much. I hate it. I've literally only kept this because of the packaging, because it has a Basquiat painting on it. I might just throw it out. Like, it's just taking up space in my life. I'm also conflicted on this one. I've had her since her birth. Way back years ago when she first came out. Like, I bought this as it was being released. And this is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This was my ride or die. This was, what did people used to say? My tried or true. I did crazy ass red cranberry My Chemical Romance eyes with this every day. I never reached for it now. I recently used it in a video of Shop My Stash using old favorites, and I honestly don't know if it was this or the mascara that I used that irritated my eyes really bad. I more or less immediately took off my makeup after I filmed it, and I don't know if it was this or if my Lancome Mr. Big is expired. I feel like it could have been a combination of the two, but I can't justify keeping this because of that reason. Like, I don't want to give myself like an eye infection or a sty or anything like that. So I'm gonna say that it's this, considering that it's years old and Lancome Mr. Big is not years old. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. We're saying goodbye to you and your really disgusting velvet packaging that holds all of the grossness. So a palette that I'm gonna keep. Finally, I'm getting to something that I'm like kind of stoked to talk about. This is the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette. I bought this years ago and it was unopened for like a while. Like, I totally forgot that I even owned it. Like, that's how much makeup I was just impulsively buying years ago. It's beautiful. This is so beautiful. These shadows perform beautifully. The color story in this is really magical and breathtaking. This blue is something out of a dream. This mustard is one of my favorite colors in the world. Like, I think mustard is one of my favorite colors ever. Yeah, they're very pigmented, they're very buttery, they blend beautifully. I have nothing bad to say about this other than I wish I used this more. It doesn't really line up to my preferences as much as it used to. The shimmers in this are really funky, really stunning. I have nothing bad to say about this palette at all. And I want to keep it because I do find it inspiring, and I think that these are really funky, unique colors that are enjoyable to use when the inspiration hits. And it's also small. The packaging is sturdy and cardboard, even though it's cardboard, but it has a sturdiness to it. And it has this really cool, like, alternative looking Birth of Venus Botticelli painting on it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Next thing, I can't get rid of it. I just can't. It's the Becca, Chloe, and Malika BFF palette. I bought this on sale at Ulta a few years ago. This is the, I think there was like the Chloe version and then there was the Malika version. So depending on your skin tone, you could choose between the two. One of my favorite makeup palettes to ever grace my face. The highlighter, a highlighter topper, a blush, and a bronzy contour. So there are mixed reviews on this, and I understood some of them. Like, I understood the blush topper to be way too metallic and the gold shift to not be very flattering, and that the bronzer did lean a little yellow orange, but for my skin tone it worked, so no complaints from me on that front. The blush the blush and the highlighter are some of my favorite blush and highlights that I've used in a powder formula ever. Yeah, I can't be parted with this. I think this is an amazing face palette. If you own it, use it. Use it! Back to eyes here. You know, I remember when I bought this, I was so disappointed. I remember being so disappointed in the Too Faced Sweet Peach. Here's why. Not only was it disgustingly smelling of peach, like it made my entire, at that time I had like a big drawer where I kept all my makeup, and it made everything smell like this peach. Like, that is insane. That's an insane thing to have near your eyes, you know? Like, just think about it. Like, anyways, so when I first got it, I was like, oh, this is everything I want on my eyes. You know what I mean? It's just like taupey sparkles. There's a lot of like really warm transitional shades. There's a really beautiful purple in here. This absolutely die for green. And you know what I only ended up using? I ended up using like 3 shades. Yeah, as you can tell. 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, and 3. You know why? Because the rest of these just all look the same when they're on your eye. I thought that I was getting a very diverse palette, but you know, I really wasn't. There is absolutely no shade difference that I could tell in any of the darks, especially, I know I'm like looking down at the palette instead of looking at the camera, especially like this purple in this, this kind of shimmery black called Tempting. Like if you just took all of this, like it all looked the same on my eye. It was really disappointing. The green was nice, but I don't ever think to use it. You know what I mean? This sparkly kind of, it's called Candied Peach. It doesn't look sparkly on the eye. Like there's no like scattered glitter or anything like that. It just looks like, you know, that one when it's on my eye. Maybe a little darker. I'm not putting this in frame. These two more or less same. This one doesn't really carry its luminosity all that well, and it's more or less insanely similar. Like there's just nothing that great about this. I've been really tempted to depot Luscious, which is that insanely beautiful taupe, and Nectar, which is a very pretty kind of peachy gold color. Yeah, this is so disappointing. And it's not cheap either. I remember when I got this, I was like, wow, that's a really expensive palette. And like the packaging is like that nice tin, but the mirror like is microscopic. Like it just, this is when I kind of started to write off Too Faced, I remember, because I was starting to feel that way. Like I was a little like, I don't know about Too Faced, but I remember when this came out and I bought it years ago, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Like I'm really a little too grown up, you know? Here's one that doesn't exist anymore. This is the Tarte Clay Play. I think there's another variation of this out on the market now, I believe. I think that it has like a blush. It's more of like a face palette than it is an eye palette, but I could be totally wrong. I'll look it up after this, but there's nothing wrong with this. Like there's nothing bad that I can say about this. It used to smell a lot more like chocolate, but it has disappeared in time, which, I mean, I'm not sad about. The mirror is huge, as you can see. Yeah, it's just, I don't feel inspired when I look at this. I don't really do any sort of looks just with mattes anymore, especially like a contour type thing. I remember the powdered bronzers being nice. Like you get like a kind of a, it's literally called terracotta, but like a warm bronzer. You get, it's called Desert, and it's like a cool tone. And then there's Timber, which is this really dark. So it's in, I wouldn't say it's really dark, but it's for a deeper skin tone. As a bronzer / contour option. It's fine. And it gives you like a warm, a cool, and a neutral like matte eyeshadow look. It's kind of everything you would need if you are a big powder person. But I'm not. I'm really not. I never reach for this. Ever, ever, ever. And I feel like I bought this specifically for bridal looks. And And even when I was still doing that, I can't say that I reached for it all that much. This one's a big maybe. I'm gonna put this in a maybe spot and really think about it. Oh, there's more Kat Von D. So I remember I depotted a lot of palettes that I used to have before I kind of like wrote off the brand for just coming out with products that I didn't like at a very rapid pace. And I think the Metal Matte palette was the final straw for me. Which I did depot a lot of my most used shades from that. Like this is from the Metal Matte palette. Those are the mattes that I didn't find chalky because it was very dusty, very chalky. And then I think they were called, I don't remember what her metallic eyeshadows formula was called, but there's a few of those in here. I never reach for them. I never reach for them. And these 4 right here are from her, wait, no, not that one. Not you. Not that. Not that. These 4 in the corner here, those are from the Alchemist palette. So they're the duochrome pigments that she came out with. Or Alchemy? Is it Alchemy? It was the triangle. So it was these holographic shadows. I don't reach for anything in here, and I think I have like a Makeup Geek and Aveda. Like these are just like willy-nilly. I'm not gonna get rid of this because I don't know, there's something kind of strange and sentimental, and I think I might put some more depotted shadows in here, but yeah, so that's what that is. Anyways, so I used to have a lot more, as you see, Kat Von D things. So I had the Monarch. I had all of these little things. And they were absolutely impossible to depot. And when I tried to depot them, I more or less destroyed them by accident. Like it was like a whole thing. Yeah. So I decided to not depot this one. This is the Plum. I think it's called Plum. Yeah. It's their little plum shade thing. These don't exist anymore, unfortunately. They were really beautiful. This is when Kat Von D, aka KVD Vegan Beauty, was, you know, really at their prime. These shadows were so pigmented, so buttery. They blended together so lovely. I made a plethora of looks with these. I don't want this. I don't want it. And then I also have, and this is in not the typical packaging. The typical packaging is cardboard. Yeah. But this was like a limited edition kind of collector's thing where I got a bunch of like shade and light things in this big container. I was really into the brand there for a while. Like I was really into like the alternative, like artisanal, like it's food. There was like this like artistry about her brand that I was really, really into at the time. So this is just the Shade and Light face powder. You know, it really is beautiful. Like these powders were absolutely love you. They were really lovely, of like almost like a stark white, a peach, a yellow, like a banana, kind of like color correcting, highlighting shades. And then you have a terracotta, a warmer bronzer, and then a sculpting shade. I started to make the transition into refillable things, hence the little dot thing, so you can depot these. But, you know, they just, I don't know, these aren't even for sale on the Kat Von D or the KVD website anymore, alongside this, which is very similar to the Tarte Clay Play. You know, you don't need both if you have one. But this black, I remember this black being absolutely incredible. Yeah. You know, I might keep this one and gift this one. I just, there's something about these shadows before there were some changes, or maybe she had less say in her brand, or more say. Maybe she made the brand worse. I honestly have no idea. There's something about the Shade and Light eye that I have yet to be mesmerized by any like matte powder formula since this. Yeah, that's, I'm actually might depot some of these for the contour just for like future use, so I don't have to like lug around this entire thing anymore in my life. So keeping the eye and depotting the contour. Thing that no longer exists, I'm not sure. I think there's some variation of this on the market with Tarte. So this is the Tarte Skin Twinkle. Is that what it is? Skin Twinkle Lighting Palette. I bought this years ago, and as you see, she's well loved. It has like a champagne, a really bright highlight, and this strange banana powder. I think it was for under the, I used it under my eyes back in the day. They're very finely milled. They're very beautiful highlights. I had kept this around for brides. I think that the formulation on these are really beautiful, and unfortunately I don't think this is on the market anymore in this trio. I think it's something a little bit different. Also, incredible mirror. These palettes that were coming out with these incredible mirrors, it doesn't really happen now. I'm hard pressed. For some reason, I am hard pressed to get rid of this. I think this is part of their, this might have been part of their Rainforest of the Sea collection, which I think Tarte is phasing out. I'm not really, I used to be a pretty big Tarte fan, but anymore they've kind of fallen off the radar for me. But yeah, ooh, this also could be something that I gift to my sister. I don't know. Because that's so much product that just can still be used. Ooh, this is really difficult for me. There's something about this that like I'm having a really hard time getting rid of. Like, and for what? For why? It just sits in a container not being used all the time. Like I don't need it. We're gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of it. She's leaving. I don't know why that highlighting palette was so hard for me to get rid of. Like that's crazy, right? Like I never use it. We're also gonna talk about something crazy that I just cannot be partnered with. I already know that I'm not gonna declutter this for very strange sentimental reasons. So I got this as a free sample at Sephora years ago. And this is when I was still like a little makeup newbie, especially in the like higher tier brands. I was discovering myself, you know, and I got this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I think this is the medium deep shade in the matte bronzer. It was their famous like chocolate bronzers, you know. Yeah, I got this as a sample with the intent of buying the bigger one when I was finished. But this was my everyday, every single day bronzer shade for years. And I have yet to hit pan. Granted, given that this has been kind of like out of rotation for a bit, every single time I do a declutter, I'm just like, yeah, but I love this. I love this. It's never hard panned. It's never smelled weird. It's never anything. And it's this teeny tiny little compact. It's the best thing to travel with. I've tried so many powder bronzers in my life and nothing ever compares to this, I can't get rid of it. I won't. I refuse. Last thing that I am going to give as a gift. I know that I don't want this, and I just have things that I prefer more to this, and this is also by Tarte, and it's supposed to be mushed down, but it's gotten crushed over the years, or so many. I don't know. I think it's about 3.5, 4 years old at this point. I don't know if these are still a thing, but they're the Tarte chrome paints, and it's a shadow pot. So I got some on my hand here. I'm just going to do a little swatch for you so you can see that this is pretty lovely. Like, it's nice, and I would shear it out. And this is the product that made me discover that I was aiming for a wet look in my eye looks instead of something like built up and metallic and crazy and stuff. I think I'm going to gift this to someone because there's so much product left, but I never use it because I've discovered what I want in a makeup product, and this doesn't really do it for me anymore. Yeah, it's a little too metallic for my taste, but it still does have like a lovely wet look, and I think that this would be a good thing for someone to use here and there. That isn't me. I'm gonna end this here because my camera's dying. Thanks for listening to me just ramble about makeup that for some reason I still own and don't use and have had a hard time getting rid of. As you see, I'm still like weirdly attached to some of these products, but I just have to say goodbye because I just really want to downsize clutter in my life. I think I'll feel a lot better once I do, but I now automatically feel so much better now that I've gotten rid of a lot of just stagnant products, expired products, products that aren't suitable to my taste anymore. So yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.